Hey guys, gwyned here, doing another standard Pauper Deck-Tech. Today I'm playing a deck I've jokingly entitled A Zombie's Rule. You can check out all the information about the deck list over at puremtgo.com. I have an article over there by my name. My name is gwyned, and hope you enjoy it. So I'm actually off on Thanksgiving break, so I'm having to do a replay rather than being able to bring you a live recording, but I hope you will enjoy it nonetheless. So let's get started. So look, my opponent won the dice roll, and he has elected to go first. Let's take a look at my opener. Start off with 2 swamps, Shimmering Grotto, and several creatures. This is definitely a keep. And my opponent kept as well. Alright, so he's playing blue. Could be similar deck to this one, playing blue-black. There are a lot of different blue-black control decks in the metagame right now. So we'll draw a Gravedigger, and from here we'll go ahead and open up with the swamp. And pass the turn back. Alright, plays a Grotto, passes the turn. Could have mana leak up here, so that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, I don't have a turn 2 play anyway, but something to be aware of on our next turn. See, in the turn, he's going to go ahead and think twice. Alright, so again, looking more and more like this is a blue-black control deck. It could be mono-blue as well. Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, looking more and more like this is probably mono-blue. Oh, interesting. Okay, definitely not mono-blue. Curse of the Pierce Heart. Interesting. Haven't seen this a lot. Usually I would expect to find this in a much more aggressive red deck win style deck. It's interesting that it's included here. Have to see how that works. So maybe some kind of, is it Delver deck? Yeah, we'll just have to see what he's going to do here. I didn't keep any mana up, so that means my turn 3 play will be free. I'll take my point of damage from the curse, and okay, draw into another swamp. It would have been nice to find an island there, but the Shimmering Grotto will at least give me access to a second blue eventually for the Stitch Drake. Of course, I've got to get some creatures in my graveyard first. Here I could play the Armored Scob or the Rager. Given what's in my hand, yeah, I could see that going either way here. It'd be nice to draw into an island, so I could see some advantage of the Rager. Could also, go ahead and get the Scob out. Gives me some nice defensive creature here in case he's very aggressive. Now, let's just see what I did. Alright, it did look like, okay, and I think that's, I could see you go either way there, assuming that the Scob was able to mill a creature into the graveyard. It would allow me next turn to play out the Stitch Strike, but the drawing the card is probably good too. Could see that going either way. So I draw into a Guess Verdict, so that will be nice for my opponent's first play. And let's see what he's got here. Still no mountains. Oh yeah, second curse. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to need to be very aggressive because he now can basically just sit back and do 2 damage a turn and really not have to do anything else. Let's see if he's got a second play. Okay, he will ponder. And after looking at his cards, he did choose to shuffle, so that's a good sign. Let's see what I can come up with now. Take my 2 damage here. Go ahead and, yep, there we go. Alright, draw into Forbidden Alchemy. That's also going to be helpful. And obviously here I'm just going to go ahead and swing in. Now I really do think I want to go ahead and get that Stitch Drake online just as quickly as I can. So I will go ahead here and play the Scob. Oh no, I'm wrong. I played Forbidden Alchemy. Okay, actually, that's a good strategy question right here. Again, I think my initial thought was that the Armored Scob is going to be better, but actually, it doesn't look like it would have mattered either way. I would have gotten a creature. By doing it this way, though, I actually get to guarantee not only that I put a creature in, but that I get the best card. Now it does slow me down a little bit because I would have had 1 more power on the board to continue attack with using the Scob, but I think Forbidden Alchemy is definitely the guarantee that I'll get a creature, or at least it makes it a lot more likely since I get to see 1 more card and get to pick the best of the cards to keep. So obviously there I'll keep the grasp, go ahead and throw the stitch drakes away, can easily get them back with Gravedigger, and use another one for my own stitch drake, so I'm not going to have any problem. I definitely didn't need to keep one. And really here I'm just going to keep him from having any creatures on the board, because if he can drop creatures, then I'm going to be in trouble. I'm not going to be able to erase his curse, because if he can just get a couple defensive creatures down, there basically would be nothing I could do unless I had removal. So here, pass the turn back. He will ponder again, and once again chose to shuffle. Finally finds a mountain and plays a Bloodcrazed Neonate. And I will take my 2 points of damage here. Alright, and draw another grasp. So let's see. Go ahead and play out my Grotto, and I'm going to go ahead and swing in with the Rager. He will presumably block here, but he does not. I actually, I remember originally I decided to do that. I kind of had a suspicion he would let it through, simply because he's trying to be so aggressive, and he would assume if I attacked that I didn't have any other way to defeat it. Of course, that is not the case here. So here I think the play is just go ahead and cast the Stitch Drake. Let's see if that's in fact what I do. No, I go ahead and use Guess Verdict. Okay, and that does go ahead and do a point of damage. I don't know if that's the right choice or not. It does save me the 2 life, which is going to be important. And then I can go ahead and play the Scob, I guess, as well. And that is, in fact, what I do. So yeah, given the way it went, it probably would have been better for me to have played the Scob instead of playing the Rager. Probably would have made the progression to turns a little better for me, but it worked out this way just fine. And if he does have another Bloodcrazed Neonate, I love Scob as a defensive creature when they play the Neonate, because it kills it and they can't do anything about it unless they want to waste a burn spell. Of note here, I did go ahead and mill 2 Perilous Mirrors, which combo very well with this Altar's Reap, so I'm returning them with a Gravedigger. That could prove to be very helpful here. So I'm keeping up with my opponent fairly well. Okay, and he does have a Delver. So yeah, this is basically just a variant on the Izzet Delver deck. Interestingly enough, these curses don't actually activate. Yeah, it's got to be an instant or a sorcery, which these are not. So by playing the curses, he's definitely thinned down the number of instants and sorceries. So that's certainly of note. And take my 2 damage here. And draw into yet another swamp. Really could have used an island there, but again, the Shimmering Grotto is proving to be fine. Here, no reason to kill the Delver, just go ahead and swing in. I will take it, and I do seem to be keeping up with the damage race here. He could have a negate here, but given the amount of removal I have, it's still probably correct to go ahead and cast Grasp here. If he has Mana Leak, obviously I'll just pay. Looks like, oh, he's going to go ahead and cast Disperse. Okay, that's fine. Gets that out of his hand, delays it by a turn, which will prove to be important. And then now I still have enough mana to go ahead and cast Gravedigger. No, actually, I take that back. Catch this Drake. That's going to be a much better decision. So I'll go ahead and cast the Drake and get rid of one of the other Drakes that's in my library. Or, I'm sorry, in my graveyard. And we'll send it back to Doug. Let's see what he's got here. Goes ahead and plays his own Stitch Drake, exiling the Neonate, and returns the Delver. So here, I'm going to go ahead and take 2 again. Alright, so what's the play? Draw into another Grotto, which obviously I'm going to want to play. Be nice if I can get rid of both of those creatures, I can deal him another 6, and I'll be 1 turn away from winning. I don't have enough mana to do everything, so probably here I just need to go ahead and cast Grasp and Gravedigger. That seems to be the best combination here. So I will go ahead and grasp that zombie to get it, or I'm sorry, the Stitch Drake to get it out of the way. It is a zombie. And go ahead and swing in here with the team. And then I will go ahead and Gravedigger up back for my Perilous Mirror, because that combos so well with the Altar's Reap. And I will pass the turn back. And he does go ahead and flip his Delver using Taxiing Probe. That's certainly not a draw that I'm worried about. So I'm going to take 3 here, plus he's got a second Stitch Drake. Interesting, interesting. Okay. So With the Altars Reap, I'm gonna have no problem getting rid of this with the comboing off, casting the Perilous Mirror, then using Altars Reap on it to go ahead and get rid of this. I'm gonna need to draw into a removal spell, and if I do, it should be game over. So he's gonna go and take a look, sees that I have Altars Reap and Perilous Mirror, and I'll take another 2 here. So let's see. Oh, when I draw into Geth's Verdict, perfect. So the way I need to do this is play these things. First the Perilous Mirror, then the Altars Reap, and then finish them off with Geth's Verdict, and then swing in for the win. So here we go. First we will cast the Perilous Mirror. Oh, I was going to actually cast it with that mana, decided, well, let's use my colorless mana. Doesn't make a big difference, but again, just wanting to make sure I use all my mana correctly, so that when it's all said and done, I still have 2 black mana left for Geth's Verdict. So I will deal 2 damage here by sacrificing him. I love this combination. That's one of my favorite combos from this deck. Being able to get a Perilous Mirror down and then immediately sacrifice it. You do 2 damage, you draw 2 cards. So pretty sick little combo there. Very, very useful. And I draw into 2 more creatures. Wouldn't have helped if I hadn't already had the removal in my hand. Go ahead and play the Geth's Verdict. And now I just swing in for the win, and that's how I won the first round. Alright, so that was game 1. I'll be back in just a minute for game 2.